vast distances, and formidable obstacles, humanity has learned to overcome them all with bridges. They connect countries, unite communities, and become symbols of human ingenuity. Today, I invite you on an astonishing journey across the most grandiose bridges on the planet. And right now, we'll begin the countdown of the top 15 largest bridges in the world. China is famous for its long bridges, but it has only a few super tall ones. An exception is the Pingtun Bridge. Its height astounds 332 meters. It is only 4.4 meters lower than the French Millau Viaduct, and just 2 meters shorter than Turkey's Çanakkale 1915 bridge. This makes it the third highest bridge on the planet. Built in the mountainous province of Gwiju, it connects the cities of Pingtun and Luan. The height of the bridge is explained by the challenging geography. The mountains of this region were impassable for centuries. Now, for millions of local residents, the bridge has become a true salvation, providing access to goods, services, and economic opportunities. It may be little known outside China, but for 382 million residents of Guizhou, its importance cannot be overestimated. Until recently, the title of the longest suspension bridge in the world belonged to Japan's Akashi Kaikyo Bridge. Only in the last few years did the leadership pass to Turkey, but for almost 2 decades, it was this Japanese miracle of engineering that was considered unmatched. Its construction was completed in 1998, answering numerous requests to replace dangerous ferry crossings over the Akashi Strait. Stretching for 3,911 meters, the bridge became part of the Kobe-Naruto Expressway. The construction cost turned out colossal, $6.7 billion in today's terms, but that money was well invested. The area is marked by high seismic activity and frequent typhoons. To ensure the bridge could withstand the forces of nature, engineers used a complex system of counterweights, pendulums, and steel trusses. As a result, the structure can endure earthquakes and withstand winds up to 290 kilometers per hour. At the same time, Akashi Kaikyo is not only about strength, but also about beauty. When evening falls, the bridge seems to come alive, sparkling with hundreds of lights that shimmer in different colors depending on the season. From above, this sight resembles a necklace of pearls stretched across the sea. Prince Edward Island is one of Canada's smallest regions, yet it gave the country one of its greatest symbols. We are talking about the Confederation Bridge, which since 1997 has connected the island to the mainland, specifically to the province of New Brunswick. Before it appeared, island residents had to travel by ferry, which took time and limited transportation links. But now, the road stretches for 12.9 kilometers and has become not only the longest bridge in Canada, but also a record holder among all bridges that pass over icy waters. After all, the Northumberland Strait is covered with ice every winter. The bridge did more than shorten travel time. It changed the very life of the island. Tourists now flock to this region, and for the residents of Prince Edward Island, the bridge has become a real artery connecting them with the rest of Canada. Moreover, the bridge's architecture blends organically into the landscape, making it not only useful, but also aesthetically pleasing. China is known for large-scale projects, and the Tianjin Viaduct is vivid proof. This bridge, 114 kilometers long, is considered the 4th longest in the world. It plays a key role in connecting the cities of Langfang and Qingxian with the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway. But the uniqueness of the structure is not only in its size. Its construction turned out to be extremely difficult. The route passed through densely populated areas where building a ground-level railway would have been a true catastrophe for residents. The solution was found to build a bridge. But even that was not simple. The giant was assembled from 32 sections, each weighing 860 tons. The project cost the country $20 billion. However, it more than paid off, as high-speed trains now rush along this bridge, providing millions of passengers with fast and convenient transportation. If you are from New Orleans, you surely know Lake Pontchartrain, a vast body of water separating the city from many suburbs. In the middle of the last century, engineers undertook an ambitious project to lay a bridge across the lake that would forever change the region's transportation map. The result exceeded expectations. 38.4 kilometers of roadway that became a record. This is the longest bridge in the world, running continuously over water, without stops or artificial islands. The first bridge opened in 1956, but the flow of cars turned out to be so great that already in 1969, a second one was built alongside it. Today, these are two parallel arteries, along which thousands of vehicles travel daily. This bridge has survived many hurricanes, including the devastating Katrina, and remained standing. But crossing it is not for the faint-hearted. The surrounding landscape is monotonous. The road is long, and it's easy to fall into drowsiness. Add to this thick fog and the absence of a visible shoreline, and many drivers begin to panic. So, a journey across the Pontchartrain Causeway is a test not only for the car, but also for the nerves. The American interstate highway system comprises thousands of kilometers of roads, but it is the Manchac Swamp Bridge that has earned the title of the longest bridge within it. Its length is almost 36.7 kilometers. Although in terms of traffic volume it loses to famous New York bridges, the construction itself was a true challenge. The swamp did not allow for a stable foundation, and engineers had to drive piles to a depth of 76 meters. The price of this solution turned out astronomical, about $17.5 million for each kilometer in modern terms. And that is not the only thing the bridge is known for. Locals call the swamp beneath it a mystical place. According to legends, a werewolf called the Rougarou and the spirit of a voodoo priestess who died in 1915 live here. But far more real are the threats lurking below. Numerous alligators. They patiently wait under the concrete spans, turning the swamp into one of the most dangerous zones in Louisiana. When it comes to length, the world record belongs to the Great Danyang Kunshan Bridge in eastern China. Its colossal length is 164.2 kilometers. This bridge is not just a record holder, but a true engine of the economy. It shortened the journey between Beijing and Shanghai from 4 hours to a bit more than 1. And given that it runs through the Yangtze River Delta, a key economic zone of China, its importance cannot be overstated. But such a grand project required titanic effort. 10,000 workers labored on it for 4 years. The cost amounted to $8.5 billion. In return, China received a bridge capable of withstanding typhoons, earthquakes up to 8 on the scale, and even the impact of a ship with a displacement of 300,000 tons. Truly an engineering wonder created for the ages. The Russky Bridge in Vladivostok is a structure that still sparks debate. Its construction cost the country more than $1.1 billion, and at the same time, it connects the city with Russky Island, where only about 5,500 people live. For many, this looks like a pure showcase window. In fact, the bridge was erected for the APEC summit in 2012, which took place on the island. Its primary purpose was more political, to demonstrate Russia's power and ambitions. And in that sense, it succeeded. 3,100 meters in length and gigantic pylons 324 meters high, anchored 77 meters into the ground, made it the longest in the world in the category of cable-stayed bridges. Beyond its scale, the bridge can withstand the strongest winds, waves up to 6 meters high, half-meter thick ice, and temperatures down to minus 31 degrees. And at night, it turns into a symbol. The pylons are illuminated in red, white, and blue, like the Russian flag. Impressive? Agree? Even if the practical benefit remains in question. Norway is renowned for its fjords, deep valleys carved by glaciers. The landscapes are breathtaking, but for builders, they're a real headache. The national highway stretches for more than 1,100 kilometers, and to traverse it from end to end, you have to take a ferry as many as 7 times. The full journey takes 21 hours. To solve this problem, the government conceived a grand project costing $47 billion. One of its elements will be a bridge across the Buina Fjord. But building a conventional bridge here is impossible. The depths are too great. The solution found is unconventional, a floating structure. The future bridge will be 5 kilometers long and will rest on 38 pontoons, 4 of which will be anchored to the seabed with cables. The structure is fully replaceable and designed for 100 years of service. This technology has already been successfully used on oil platforms, and now engineers are confident it can be adapted for roads. If the project succeeds, it will be the first floating bridge in the world of such length. France is famous for the Eiffel Tower, but in the south of the country there is a structure that can rival it in engineering audacity and beauty: the Millau Viaduct. It was built to complete the A75 highway connecting Paris with Barcelona. The main obstacle was the Tarn River Valley, almost 2.5 kilometers wide. The solution turned out revolutionary: a bridge 2.4 kilometers long, but more importantly, 343 meters high. That is higher than the Eiffel Tower and makes Millau the highest bridge in the world. Drivers crossing it are treated to breathtaking views of the French countryside, and the road itself feels like a flight above the clouds. Engineers, however, accounted for all risks. The bridge is subjected to strong winds up to 150 kilometers per hour, and its height can disorient drivers. Therefore, the roadway has a slight curve, a 3% grade, and special screens that reduce wind force by half. Thanks to these solutions, the viaduct became not only beautiful, but also safe. It is no surprise that it has won numerous international awards. Sometimes a walk on foot can deliver more emotions than any vehicle. But if ordinary parks seem boring, take a look at Skybridge 721, the longest suspension pedestrian bridge in the world. Opened quite recently, on May 13, 2022, it stretches for 721 meters across the valley of Mount Kralik in the Czech Republic. The bridge hangs 95 meters above the ground and more than 1,100 meters above sea level. Walking across, it resembles a journey through the clouds. Sometimes, they truly drift beneath your feet. Skybridge 721 is not just a bridge, but an entire tourist complex. There is the Skywalk, a wooden structure as tall as an 18-story building, more reminiscent of futuristic roller coasters. And after walking along it, you can ride a metal slide 100 meters long. There is also an educational component, the Bridge of Time, an ecological trail with elements of augmented reality and 10 interactive stations. They tell about the region's history, the fortifications of the 1930s, and nature conservation. All this makes Skybridge 721 not just an attraction, but a true open-air cultural center. Among suspension bridges, the leadership belongs to Turkey. The Çanakkale 1915 bridge opened on March 18, 2022, and immediately became a record holder. Its main span measures 2,023 meters, the longest in the world. It crosses the Dardanelles Strait, connecting the European and Asian parts of the country. In the past, the journey took several hours. Now, it is just 6 minutes. This not only speeds up transport and reduces the burden on Istanbul, but also opens new opportunities for the region's economy. But the bridge also carries symbolic weight. Its name refers to the Battle of Gallipoli of 1915, and the span length to the centenary of the founding of the Turkish Republic in 2023. All this turns the structure into a symbol of national pride. The project cost amounted to $2.7 billion, and the toll is $5. For Turkey, this is a huge sum, but it could not be otherwise. The bridge was built in a zone of strong winds and earthquakes, so it received a unique box girder design and other protection systems. The height of its towers is 318 meters, and the roadway is raised to 73 meters, allowing the largest ocean liners to pass without difficulty. And finally, first place is taken not by an ordinary bridge, but by a truly unique engineering solution, the Magdeburg Water Bridge in Germany. This is not a road and not a railway line, but an actual canal thrown across the Elbe River. The idea arose back at the beginning of the 20th century, but wars and the division of the country postponed the project for a long time. Construction began only in 1997, and by 2003, the bridge was opened. Its length is almost 1 kilometer, and the cost exceeded $890 million. The structure required 24,000 tons of steel and 68,000 cubic meters of concrete. Why is it needed? It is simple. The bridge connected two canals that previously could not join due to the difference in water levels. Earlier, ships had to make a huge detour of 12 kilometers, ascending and descending with the current. Now they go directly, saving hours of travel time. The Magdeburg Bridge is the largest water bridge in Europe and a true record holder. It not only accelerated commercial shipping, but also became a tourist attraction. Many come here to see ships sailing right across a bridge. Japan is a country where high-speed trains have long been a routine part of life, and one of the most advanced railway lines in the world is considered to be the Tohoku Shinkansen, the third fastest on the planet. Trains race here at speeds of up to 320 kilometers per hour. For such speeds, truly reliable structures are needed. One of the key elements of this main line is the Kaya Viaduct. It was completed back in 1982. Its length is impressive, 114.4 kilometers, and along the way, there are 23 stations between Tokyo and Aomori. This viaduct has become an integral part of the country's infrastructure, ensuring uninterrupted train movement. And if you ever set off on a journey through Japan, there is a high likelihood that you will find yourself on this engineering marvel. Speaking of length, the second place in the world belongs to this very bridge, the Changhua Kaohsiung Viaduct in Taiwan. Its length reaches 157.6 kilometers. It connects the cities of Zuoying and Banshan, combining both a highway and a railway line. But the main distinction of this viaduct is that it was built in an active seismic zone. It may seem like madness, but the engineers foresaw everything. The bridge is designed so that trains can safely stop during earthquakes. A special modular construction prevents the spread of damage along the entire length, which makes it possible to repair problems quickly. Thanks to these solutions, millions of cars and trains continue to cross it safely every year. That is the list. From viaducts hundreds of kilometers long to bridges that soar above the clouds, or even carry entire rivers upon them. Each of these structures is not just a road, but a symbol of human ingenuity, boldness, and the drive to overcome the impossible. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. See you soon.